How's it, everyone? This is Tikwe, also known as Richard, and we're getting back to you with another game as the French. We're going to play against the Mongols today, and it's interesting when you actually your anxiety gets the best of you. I think that's the best way to sum this game up, because the French are known for rushing early and applying that early pressure with their royal knights, especially in the feudal age, and using that then to your advantage to actually get an economy lead and then some archers or spearmen to finish off the game. So what you can see as we start off, we're going with the standard 6 villagers on the sheep. The next villager that's going to come out is going to get the house on. It's going to start building a house, and right after the house is going to automatically move over to the gold. And to get that right is when you have it selected, you press Q to build the house, hold Shift, and QR, press Q, and you see R is the mining camp, and place down the mining camp. It will automatically follow that sequence. So we're busy scouting out the map, going through to get all of those juicy little sheep early on. Remember, like I keybind them like this, Control 1 and Control 3, so I can actually jump between my main base and the scouts, so I can make sure I don't miss any sheep or run into any accidental town centers that just one-shot you. So look, against the Mongols, they cannot wall off. So yes, you can rush, but there's two moments in this game which I did not know about and that surprised me a lot when it comes to the Mongols. I think it should be nerfed. I think there's a weird advantage that they have when it comes to their villagers, and a very annoying factor to get rid of when you're playing against the Mongols. So I want to actually have a look at it while we're in this game. If we go to the Mongols, um, they say masters of mobility and mountain warfare. They gain economic benefits from setting up near stone or outcropping and from raiding enemy buildings. Enemy must deal with cavalry attacks from the opening moment of play. Okay, understand, right? Um, All buildings can be packed up, that's understandable. Start with a maximum population limit, so there's no houses needed. Early horsemen in the Dark Age. Double production units of research, double produce units or research advanced versions of technologies using stone. Okay, so when you upgrade close to stone, you get better upgrades. Um, Unique units, the Khan and the Mangudai. Okay, that's understandable. The villagers, right? When they're in a specific area without the Khan, they are moving at an unbelievably fast rate. Feel their singular mighty Khan to provide powerful bonuses. Um, Early cavalry are excellent raiders. Extract valuable stone. Okay, I'll show you guys what I mean. I think this is a bug. I think it is a bug. We'll just have a look. But as the French, it's almost impossible to rate these villagers. A villager has a standard amount of movement speed, as far as I know. And if we go back to our own base, they have 1.2, 1.12 tiles per second movement speed. Okay, and on the Mongol side, it's the same, right? 1.12. Okay, so I'll show you guys when we get there, but I brought in a cavalry because obviously they can't wall off, but I wanted to get in on these villagers at some point with early cavalry, and the villagers outran the cavalry that the cavalry weren't even able to get shots off. That's how fast they were outrunning. And not for like a brief second, like they kited me around the town center for a good 30 seconds and we maybe killed a single villager. I don't know if that's a bug, but we'll have a look exactly at the villagers when we get to that point. So I'll speed up the game a little bit. It's a bit of a longer game, just so we can get to the juicy parts. One main thing is I'll show you guys also how to counter the Mangonel in this video, and also how to defend against them. So very early on, we have our wood going. We have the 6 villagers still on sheep because that's enough to get your villager supply going. We're not, producing any units yet, so we don't need to move all of these villagers onto food yet, right? So we're keeping them on wood. We're keeping 6 villagers on the food. We did bring back, quite a lot of sheep, and now I'm just taking my scouts out, getting vision around this frontal area so they don't come in with a Khan or a Ras, just like this. So we're trying to get rid of this Khan and not avoid him harassing our villagers and so on. If he was coming too close, we were going to garrison these units so he can't, see or know exactly what's going on. So he knows we're playing safe. Um, and this is important. So I wall off the front left side of my base, right? And I'm busy walling off this area, but you don't want to wall off too short. Like if this wall had to go here, or if you have the opportunity, a few archers, a royal knight, or even maybe 2 or 3 scouts, it's more than enough to defend this villager against like the Khan or anything like that, especially against the Mongols, right? So we're using the scouts as like kind of protection to kind of see what's happening, and at the same time, walling off the entire map where we want to have control. So we have a gold vein right here, a second gold vein right here, and then let's just reveal the map. Stone here, there's a third gold vein right here. So that's 12,000 gold that we do have access to. So we're walling off in that regard to kind of get some of these resources in. I even managed, I think, to get the sacred side in, and you can see now. I'm going to slow it down and then we'll look at it from his perspective. And please do comment if you understand why this is happening. But yeah, I was very surprised. So we know exactly where he is. We did scout him out earlier, right? So these villagers now have a movement speed of 1.29. Okay. My cavalry have a movement speed of 1.62, right? So even a scout has a movement speed of 1.62. So the scout's supposed to be faster, right? That's what we understand. And this is a big amount of villager pool that we can pick off with these royal knights, and we should get a few kills here, right? But look at this, 1.12. We go in for the raid, and I'm not sure why this is. But look at this. Look at how the villagers are outrunning 1.29, right? My knights can't even catch them on 1.29 movement speed. The knights are 1.94 movement speed. Even with the charge, you can see this. We're not touching the villagers. They're literally outrunning the cavalry to a point where we just lost a royal knight there, and now we're trying to, pick off these villagers, but literally we cannot catch them. So I think there's a movement speed bug with the villagers. I'll probably make that the title of the video. How to not get raided as the Mongols just run around, because apparently they're faster than knights. Um, so I did have a very heavy loss there. If we look at the enemy, those villagers are still very much alive. He's sitting on um, 12, 14. He has quite a significant amount of villagers. 23, 27, 8, 9, 29 villagers. Heavy on food, heavy on wood. He does have some gold going. He has the Uvu and I think the double production happening here on the archery range. So he does get the horses out. Let's hop to my perspective. So we did wall off everything. I'm actually curious to see where he decides to go here, right? Because this is quite nice. If you can get into someone's base with 9 cavalry archers and the Khan with that extra attack speed or even the increased movement speed, he's going to have a very fun time harassing villagers and just staying on the edge, denying the wood here, denying the gold there, and that would be GG. If I didn't wall off like we did right here, it would have been GG. So I'm kind of testing his strength by seeing how many units are out, seeing how much damage my two archers do, but we're not going to do anything here. If it wasn't for these walls, I was going to struggle. Now we are ready to go into the castle age. I did train a few more archers quickly, just so we can defend against this, because I think he's also not sure what to do right now because he's in the feudal age. He invested heavily into getting these units out. Let's go check what's the cost of those units. They're actually 120 food, 40 gold. So that's quite a hefty investment in when you train it with the Uvu in place. It's actually an additional 160 stone. Quite an hefty investment. Just so that's 280, 90, almost 320 resources for two of those horses. So that's a good 2,000 resources. That's just right there, right? So at this point in stage, we have a villager stuck outside. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of the map. I kind of forgot about it. I think he sees this villager eventually, but from his perspective, he has the landmark. He's going for more military production, um, and the Uvu is still doing well on his side. Not a lot of stone left there. And on my side, we decided to go for the fast castle age. We have some form of protection right here. Um, Kills a little sheep off. Um, but he's focusing heavy on getting more units out. Another 300 resources there, getting the second archery range out. So definitely investing a lot of resources into that. Um, and then on our side, we have the very very little units. We can't even attack or win any fight against this if he had to find his way in. So in my opinion, a few spearmen and a blacksmith with the siege engineering from his side would have been a much better choice. So he can actually use these units, even if he just has access inside my base. It would have been, if you can break through anywhere here, it would have made a big difference if he actually just got into the base, right? So we have the archers, the royal knights. I'm going to speed up again here a little bit. And I'm going for stone now. So the villagers, you can see, are uh, going for stone. My thought was, okay, cool. We have some safe food here at the bottom. That's going to carry, that's 2,000 food right there. We're going heavy on wood. I have the second mole out here just to open up some space and get rid of these berries. And we have about 10 on gold, right? If you compare to him, he's in a villager lead, he's in an economy lead. You can see right here, he's sitting on 900 gold. With all these units out, he's sitting on 10 of those horses right there, going for more forward food right here. Not that heavy anymore on wood. But I think he's trying to get the horse archers out. And you can see what he's starting to do is trying to make sure he's getting map control. And this is a good call. Getting outposts out on the map. He has forward Gur here. This is a single outpost right here. You can kind of place it in the middle of the stealth forest because then you can't really see into the stealth forest. On the edge here, you'll spot it out a lot easier. Um, but yeah, nothing crazy right now. Then we get a siege workshop out and a mangonel. Now I knew against these mass horse archers, veteran Mangudai, against big masses of this, even with a few knights or something on top of that, would be very difficult. So I see he's starting to shoot out these palisade walls because they don't do siege damage, but they do eventually get through the wall. So I decide to bring the double Mangonai and 13 archers with the Royal Knights. just bring them down, just to kind of force stop this war. And this is where I actually had the light bulb go off in my head to say, okay, this is how we win this game. So we get the double Mangonel shot off, and look at this. We kill two, so that's essentially 300 resources lost. He can shoot and run, right? Like you can see there, we do lose the Royal Knight, but look at the health with two Mangonel shots, because these Mangudai, they don't have insane, and it's veteran Mangudai. They don't have insane health. They only have 105 health compared to a Royal Knight, 230, and even an Archer has 80. So it's basically a glorified Archer, but they can kite very well because they can actually move and shoot at the same time, right? If this Knight has to go forward until there, it would have been dead. So we're halfway through this game, and now I'm focusing again on doing the same thing. I didn't know if he was gonna play more aggressive. I didn't know how big his masses was. If he was actually trying to get any spearmen or any siege of his own ready, because he does have the third age available. So we're balancing our economy out here, getting very heavy onto gold here. There we go. Um, I didn't even use this. So just in the future, if you're playing the French and it's this aggressive, I think Mangonels is good enough as they are. I think you don't need to go for the College of Artillery, because the College of Artillery gives you very strong royal cannons and long range siege cannons. We'll get the names of them very shortly. But if you want, I mean, look at this. I have zero control of the map, right? Compared to him, he has all of these little towers and outposts. And I tried to go for a forward food here at some point, and I think he spots that out and he raided the food out, so I lost all the villagers here. Um, yeah, I had villagers, about 10 villagers on this food, which he raided out. So you can see very, very strong map control with all these towers of his, and they can't upgrade, guys. So they do have the opportunity to get, the arc lists or the other upgrades, but um, that's like with the French, you can actually upgrade your outposts and make them stone outposts, right? The Mongols can't really do that, so it's a good choice. It's really nice to see him, do that. I would actually probably have gone for the Springald emplacements, because that does a bit more higher damage against like armored units, or even the cannon emplacement. I think he didn't have the stone to do that to all of these outposts. So we're both sitting on Imperial Age, and right now what I'm focusing on is getting that army against heavy Mangudai, 21 Mangudai right there. But we're sitting on 5 Mangonels here plus another 2, and I'm trying to make sure I get these blacksmith upgrades right here. But I want to show you at this point in time why this is important. Like, he invested so much resources into all this map control, but this doesn't really do much for him, because he even has the lancers out here, right? And that's gonna do a lot better against my elite horsemen. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 royal knights here or there. But now we're going for this first outpost, because I did see that outpost pick off at the mill right here at the bottom. So we'll just play this out in cinematic mode and talk through it. So at this point in stage, he can see my whole army, right? Um, there we go. So we're sitting on quite a decent amount of units. We have the extra reinforcements coming out, and all my unit producing buildings are coming forward. And the only reason I came out of my base was because I have 22 idle villagers that I want to get to this gold mine. I didn't even know if he mined this out like he did right here, right? So he comes forward with all of his horse archers and horsemen, and he knows about the siege engines, but I have quite a lot of archers ready to deal with all those Mangudai. And look at this, guys. Look how quickly we just decimate this army of his with the 6 Mangonels right here. He's lost equivalent to 10,000 plus resources. So we're using the cavalry to, destroy any siege that he does have, and using the archers as a backline support. You don't have to go for, the crossbowmen against the Mangudai, because they're probably going to go into Mangudai, even with the horsemen coming out trying to pick off the Mangonels here. They're just shredding through these horsemen, because we're sitting on 11 damage, and they do have the extra armor as well, and they have the increased damage that we do from the academy upgrade that you get right here. Um, so we're trickling more units in. Eventually, I'm ready to go forward. So we get all those villagers moving forward, and at this point, I'm a little bit vulnerable because I'm visible with all these siege towers. So I'm using the horses to siege them down. The horse um, elite horsemen. You can go for the Royal Knights, but I feel the elite horseman is a better call because they have the extra um, ranged defense at the moment with the new patch. They got the increased range defense, so that was a better unit to train. And then you can go to the blacksmith and you can get the angled surfaces, which is even the insulated helm to give you the extra melee and ranged armor, and that applies to all units. So you can see my normal archers have 2, and my horsemen actually have 4 ranged armor. And with 240 health, you're gonna have a hard time with those Mangudai trying to, get any damage down on these horsemen. So we're trying to play safe here. We don't know how much resources he was sitting on, and how much he can reinvest. Look at this. He's sitting on 3,500 food, average wood and gold. But I mean, that's insane. If this was you, the easiest way would be to probably go for like heavy archers. Even stay away from the Mangudai, just get the upgrade and go, because you had to have some a high, I think one archery range there, the double stable here, some sheep and gers right there. But no extreme unit producing buildings here. He gets his own mangonels out, but at this point we're sitting very strong, still with the same 4. We lost 2 so far, but he's doing like these mini raids. Um, I think he's using the Uru to make a few cavalry units here and there. Let's just drop back to my perspective. But all we're doing right now is just controlling this gold. That's all I want right now. I get more of the archers in place here, so I'm defending this corner. I have the castle in front here, even with the with the lancers. Um, this keep is just gonna do big damage against any units that want to come past here. And then we have another 30 odd units here at the back as defense. And these horsemen are doing really well versus this cavalry. I know the keep helped, but we lost 0 units. Then he lost 6 lancers there, right? So we have high archers, we have the mangonels, more archers, and I think that's probably the new standard that I'm going to use to play against any Mongol games. You see, this is not normal. These horsemen are running at 2.1, right? And we're not catching villagers at 1.4. Look at this. This is not normal. We can't kill villagers because they just outrun cavalry that's charging at 2.1 movement speed. It's like they're adopting the movement speed. I don't know, but it's definitely a bug in the game that needs to be addressed. I will report the bug, but if you're playing the Mangonel, your villagers are going to be safe against raiding. At this point in stage, we have them surrounded here. I don't know why they didn't garrison. Maybe there was a issue with them, but the movement speed on them is bugged. That's 100% true. So we use the archers, we use the mangonels, we did destroy all these military buildings right here. We did upgrade our archers as far as possible. We're sitting on 69 archers, so that's going to deal with any Mangudai on here side. We did use the horsemen to just see how much we can raid, but now I'm going in for to finish the game. And this was the most important point for me to get. I wanted to get to this gold so I can actually play with my economy properly. I even have the what do you call it, the guild hall, and the guild hall was giving me on the a consistent steady food supply, so I can keep training horsemen, elite horsemen to deal with any issues on his side. So we're pushing in small groups of archers because I don't know how many mangonels was sitting here at the back. He had the two mangonels out here earlier that we did siege down with the horse archer, elite horseman. But now we're just using the mangonels and the one cannon. That's all we have, and mass archers with horsemen. So very heavy on food, very heavy on wood, so we can train these units because both of them are food and wood units. And also remember with the French, you get extra the discounts on the units. So you can see they're 80 food and 16 wood because of the 20% discount from the keep in this little keep zone. And if you get the enlistment incentives, that's another 5% off there, as long as they're touching this influence, and you can see the little plus icon. So these elite horsemen are very, very cheap compared to what he has to invest into Mangadai. So we're using the horsemen to get rid of any siege, and the archers to control any knights or lancer rush from his side, and just sieging down any units and buildings. These archers are to control any units coming out of the military buildings right here, and we're just moving them forward and to tap side. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Please help us report the Mongol villager buff bug with their villagers running as fast as the speed of light, faster than charging horsemen. Um, and thank you for also, supporting the channel and watching content like this. I really appreciate it. Check out other videos, and please do leave a like and subscribe, and hope you